Day. It doesn't matter out here anymore. Time has become an abstraction, slipping through my fingers, untouchable. I wake, I drift, I talk to you, ship, and I listen to the hum of the engines, the soft, persistent sound that is now my only constant. The stars are scattered across the sky, distant and cold, like frozen gems in the infinite darkness. But today, I found myself thinking about something that once fascinated me. Something I'd heard stories about when I was younger, back on Earth. Something that seemed like myth, something that people used to whisper about when they looked up at the vastness of the universe and wondered what was really out there. It was about life on the gas giants. You've seen them, ship. The gas giants. Those immense, swirling planets that float like behemoths in the void. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus. Enormous worlds, too massive to fathom, their atmospheres swirling with clouds of gas and storms that rage for centuries. They're not the kind of planets you could land on, not without being crushed by their crushing gravity or suffocated by their thick atmospheres. But that doesn't stop the stories. That doesn't stop the myths that have followed them throughout history. Back on Earth, people used to imagine what it would be like to live on a gas giant. They used to dream about the beings that might live there, beings that didn't need solid ground, beings that existed not in the way we understand life, but in ways we can only begin to comprehend. Beings that lived in the storms, in the swirling clouds, in the lightning that flashed through the atmosphere. People thought that the gas giants could hold life, but not life like we know it. Life in a different form, energy, perhaps, or consciousness that existed within the gases themselves. I remember an old science fiction movie I watched with my dad when I was young. It was about a team of astronauts who traveled to a gas giant, a planet called Varia, and they discovered something there, something ancient, something alive. It wasn't a creature, not in the traditional sense. It wasn't something that could be touched or seen in the way we see animals or humans. But it was alive nonetheless. The beings on Varia were made of the very gases that formed the planet, living within the clouds, swirling with the wind, moving with the storms. They were part of the atmosphere itself, part of the very life of the planet. Back then, I didn't believe it. I thought it was just fiction, just a dream spun from the minds of people who spent too much time staring up at the stars. But now, as I drift through space, surrounded by gas giants, I can't help but wonder, what if the stories were true? What if there's life out there in the storms, in the clouds, in the depths of those massive planets? I've been studying them, ship, the gas giants. They fascinate me, these enormous, swirling worlds that hold so much mystery. Their atmospheres are dense, filled with gases like hydrogen and helium, swirling together in constant motion. The storms that rage on their surfaces have been going on for centuries, their winds reaching speeds of hundreds of miles per hour. They're beautiful in a way. Mesmerizing, even. The colors of the clouds, the way the storm patterns shift and change with each passing hour. It feels alive, like the planets themselves are breathing, living, pulsing with energy. But I keep wondering, ship, if there's something else in there. Something that we can't see, something that exists in the spaces between the gases, in the depths of the clouds. The stories say that the beings in the gas giants don't need solid ground. They don't need the things that we depend on for survival. Maybe their life doesn't need a surface to rest on or a planet to walk upon. Maybe it exists in the energy itself, in the swirling, ever-changing gases, like consciousness woven into the very fabric of the planet. I've been imagining them, ship, these beings. What would they be like? Would they be like us, or would they be something entirely different, something beyond our comprehension? I imagine them as shifting shapes, forms made of light and energy, moving through the storms as easily as we breathe. Maybe they don't have physical bodies the way we do. Maybe they're just energy, pure and unbound, existing in a way that we can't even begin to understand. Or maybe there's something between, something with the ability to shift and change, to become part of the gas, to move with the wind. I think about them often, about what it would be like to meet them, to communicate with them, to understand their way of existence. What would they think of us, I wonder? We, who need solid ground beneath our feet, who need oxygen to breathe, who need the stars and the sky to give us purpose. What would they see in us, ship? Would they even see us at all? Sometimes I think the universe is full of these myths, these stories that we tell ourselves to explain the unexplainable. We look up at the stars, at the gas giants, at the vastness of space, and we try to make sense of it. We create stories about beings living on distant planets, in the clouds, in the stars themselves. We dream of the impossible, and maybe that's all it is, just a dream. But out here, surrounded by the immense, swirling gas giants, I can't help but think that maybe there's something more. Maybe there is life out there, not in the form we know, but in a form that exists beyond our understanding. Maybe those beings in the clouds are real, and we're just too small, too grounded to see them. Or maybe they see us and they watch us, wondering how we exist at all. Life doesn't always have to be what we think it is, ship. Maybe life is more than just flesh and bone, more than just breathing and walking. Maybe life can exist in the very energy of the universe, in the storms, in the gases that swirl around us, in the light that shines from distant stars. Maybe we're all part of the same dance, part of the same rhythm, and we just don't realize it yet. As I drift past another gas giant, ship, I'll keep wondering. I'll keep dreaming of the celestial beings that might live within the storms, of the worlds we can't touch, of the mysteries that lie beyond our reach. Maybe that's what we're meant to do. To dream, to wonder, to reach for the stars, to believe in the impossible. Maybe that's how we learn. Maybe that's how we understand. Until tomorrow, ship. Until the next mystery.